Hello and welcome to the WDSU Hot Seat. We are joined tonight by the winner of the District 93 runoff election, Alonzo Knox. First of all, congratulations. Thanks for being with us tonight. So the first thing I'll ask you, obviously a long race, you've been looking forward to getting into this position. What's the first thing that you want to get done when you step into this seat?
Well, I think the first thing that's on everybody's mind is the insurance crisis that we're in. We need to look at some long-term solutions on how that we can shore up our insurance industry here in the state of Louisiana.
Are there any ideas you have right now, specifics of how you want to approach that?
There are some ideas that I do have. I think many have been tossed about, but I need to get with some of the colleagues that are already having a conversation. I don't presume to know all the information and all the details about where they are currently, but I do want to start that process as quickly as possible.
So in terms of some of those long-term goals, some of the things you want to be able to look at when this term ends to say you accomplished, what are some of those long-term, overreaching goals you want to be able to look at?
Well, for one, I would like a pay raise for our teachers and our law enforcement. I think it's long overdue and well deserved. We need to address quality of life issues, particularly as it relates to homelessness in and around our city, particularly along the I-10 corridor. I think there are many issues that we probably won't get done in this session because it is a fiscal session, but I think we need to start the conversation so that we can address and find solutions as quickly as possible.
So you ran as a Democrat going into this race. It's going to be tough when you get there, a supermajority of Republicans over there. How do you plan on working within that to try and work across those lines possibly to get some of those things passed?
Well, I would do the same thing I've been doing all my career, and that is building consensus, building coalitions, work with individuals who have different opinions than I do. I think the credibility that I have with the legislators that I work for, in particular U.S. Senator John Breaux, the internships that I had at Capitol Hill and at the state capitol informs me and how I know individuals on the other side think. My military background is also informative. So I think there's more in common that we have than divides us, and then I think once we reach that consensus, we can come to some good legislation.
So you've worked to represent the city before. You've run for city council, now you run for District 93. What about this city made you want to be a representative in it? What made you want to work for the people here?
Well, I think there's so much that needs to be done. I think the people have a sense of frustration and annoyance at what is so-called the political establishment. I think there's a time where the people want someone to disrupt that, if you will, and to bring a little normalcy and decorum and integrity back into politics. And I think it's been missing, and I think for too long, this so-called political establishment, this so-called political machine has had a hold on NOLA politics, and it's time for someone to disrupt that. And if nothing else, I hope my candidacy, now my election, can help forge that in the best way it can.
So District 93 in and of itself, a lot of things there. Downtown New Orleans, you've got the Superdome, you've got the Convention Center, a lot of things that you have to have under that umbrella. What are some of the things that you want to achieve with that infrastructure in mind, with all the possible big events, things that you could bring to the state?
Well, I think everyone should be able to benefit from it. I want to bring some equity into terms of how we do business, and that people who are currently working in these industries, that they get the fair share that they deserve. These are the conversations that I want to have around how we as a district and as a state can lift everyone up at the same time.
So let's talk about a few positive things just to end off here, just to end the night. So you gave your speech a little bit ago talking about how your friends, your family rallied around you in this. A lot of people see election campaigns on the outside looking in. How important is it to have that circle around you of support as you go through?
It's so important because there are times when you get frustrated, there are times when you get annoyed, and to have that balance, to have those steadfast friends, those friends who've been with you from the beginning and not someone who just all of a sudden jumped on board now that you have a victory under your belt. It's so important, and it so normalizes the whole process, in my opinion. And so for me, friends and family come first, always.
So one last question, maybe the most important one. So you won tonight on your birthday.
On my birthday.
Have you ever gotten a better birthday gift than this?
This is the best birthday gift ever, and I'm so grateful for it.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you again. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations once again. That's all the time that we have tonight. Thanks for watching.
Eli, thank you. And remember, you can stay informed anytime and anywhere 24/7. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and of course, our WDSU smartphone app. And stay with us, everyone.